Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. I want to go ahead and apologize for missing all of last week posting videos. We wasn't able to post on Tuesday or Thursday. That's because I was sick. On Christmas Day, I started getting a little bit of a tickle in my throat. Come Monday and Tuesday, I was sick as a dog. Couldn't get off the couch all day Tuesday, running a fever, chilled, just in a bad way. Probably the sickest I've ever been. Don't know if it was COVID or the flu. I never got tested for either one. But it was a long week last week, just super tired. I'm still recovering now. I got a little bit of congestion, still battling spurts of being tired. But I wasn't able to wish everybody a happy New Year's. So I hope everybody had a happy New Year's. Coming on into 2023, I hope you have some goals. We're going to be talking about our goals in another video, possibly the next video, might be a couple more. Still got to figure out all my goals for 2023. But in today's video, we're just going to go around, take care of the animals, and we're going to talk about some of the goals that we had in 2022, whether we were able to accomplish all of them or not. Go ahead and let you know we wasn't able to accomplish them all, but we got a good bit done, and we're going to talk about all the things that happened in 2022 and some things that's going to get moved to 2023. So let's get started up here with the feeder pigs now. While we're feeding them, I'll go ahead and start talking about, I guess, our goals with the pigs. So this morning I actually went back and watched our video from last year where we set all our goals for 2022. We did 22 goals for 2022, and this year we might do 23. 22 goals ended up being a lot of goals, but for the most part I think we did pretty well. There was a couple small things that we weren't able to accomplish, but we'll explain all that. But while we're right here with the pigs, I figured we'd go over our 4 goals that we had for the pig operation here at Nicholson Farms. One of which was to build pig pens, a new kind of working facility. That way we can expand our pig operation. And what we decided to do is about 4 or 5 months ago, we built 5 1,200 square foot pens, all out of electric wire and T-post. That way we can start rotating our pigs about once a week, putting them on some fresh ground, kind of controlling how much they're tearing up the ground, getting away from parasite loads and all those good things. And we were able to install that this year and use it. We plan on building 2 more, but I'm gonna say we went ahead and got that goal done. One thing that we didn't do on the pig pen or pig facility part is I still need to build some farrowing pens, and that kind of brings us into our next goal for the year, was to start breeding our own pigs. And we kind of hit that goal. We kind of didn't. We didn't actually breed our own pigs this year, but we've kind of got a head start on 2023 as far as getting breeding stock. And honestly, I don't know if we would have bred in 2022 because we wanted to kind of focus on finding some good genetics. And as I got to thinking about that, I kind of changed my mind on that because our pig operation is so small and we don't really have a lot of land to put pigs on. I don't really want to keep a sow more than probably a year and a half. I kind of want to just get 2 litters out of her and send her on our way, just because we don't have the facility to handle about a 600-pound sow. It's just not something I'm interested in doing, getting started with breeding pigs. So what we did, and what I'm going to say was a success in getting our breeder pig operation started, is this group of feeder pigs behind us. There's 13 of them behind us. We've got 2 of them up the road. The 2 up the road, one of which is our little boar. He is about breeding age now. So we're getting ready, probably early spring, mid-spring, we're going to start breeding some pigs. And honestly, what my plan is to take our 2 largest sows or gilts in this pen right here, and that's going to start our breeding program. We'll be keeping these gilts probably for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe get 2-3 litters out of them, and then they're going to be hitting the road, whether they're going to be getting butchered or just going to the sale barn, so we don't just have giant pigs on the farm is our goal. That's going to work out for us for a little while. We'll use that boar for probably about the same amount of time, and then we might get into some better genetics on down the road. Another goal that we had for the pigs that we did not hit this year is I wanted to find some land to put pigs on. I kind of want to find some grown up land that I can start rotating pigs on using this Premier One netting and kind of clean it up, and then we can potentially run goats in behind it and even clean a little farther, and hopefully kind of develop into some land for the goats and possibly some cows down the road. But we wasn't able to hit that goal. And our fourth goal and our second goal that we wasn't able to hit this year was we wanted to sell half and whole hogs. And right when I got these feeder pigs, I talked a lot about that's what we wanted to do this year, and I was really trying to do it. But unfortunately, we weren't able to secure processing dates for these pigs, and I didn't have any of them spoken for because I never advertised them. I wasn't going to advertise them before I had dates for them. And as my luck goes, the day after I had somebody speak for all the pigs that were growing this year, the processor called me back and said they had some processing dates, which was a little late. We're going to go ahead and try to get some on the books for next year, and hopefully in 2023 we can start processing and selling whole and half hogs to some customers in our local area. But that was our goals in 2022 on the pigs. We're pretty happy where we ended up with the pigs this year. We have 18 right now, 15 of which are in the feeder stage. One is a boar that we're going to be keeping, and we're going to be keeping 2 sows out of here. The rest are going to be sold or already spoken for. And then we have our 3 larger pigs. One of them's actually going to be going on the grill here in about a month, and then our 2 other ones are going to be butchered for our consumption here in about 2 months. But that's it for them. Let's walk up to the goats and we'll kind of talk about some goals that we had for them. So in 2022, we didn't have a ton of goals for our goat herd, other than we really wanted to increase the size of our herd. And I think the number I threw out in our video from last year was 40%. That would have put us at about 40 nannies. We're gonna be right there this year. That's pretty much what we're breeding. I think we're breeding 38, 39, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we did have some does that we did cull this year due to abortion issues. I think it was 6 of those. We went ahead and got rid of them, got them out of the herd, and just trying to focus on a decent herd of healthy goats that doesn't have to be babied. And with our addition to our Kiko buck last year and all the offspring from him this year, we really got a group of doelings that we really do like. There's a couple in here that's on the lower end that we're going to hold on to and just see how they do. But I think we hit our mark for is increasing our herd to about the size that I want. We did add our 2 Spanish nannies this year, something that we're pretty excited about back there in the back. But they're doing pretty well. Hopefully they're bred to our new Kiko buck, Thunder. That's him where, I don't know, he's on the other side of this bale. But that's something that we didn't account for this year, was adding another Kiko buck that we're super excited about. Another thing that was on the to-do list and a goal of ours for the goat herd was to find some more land. And I'm going to say that we did not do that. But there's something that I haven't told you yet, and it's going to be coming up in the first of the year. We were able to find another pasture right up the road. It's not ready. We haven't put the goats on it, and actually somebody's got a couple feeder steers on them. And as soon as they go off of that piece of property, we're going to be able to go in there and work on the fences and actually start taking some goats up there. It's only a 1 acre little field, but it's completely free and free to use for as long as we want to use it. So that's something I've been kind of hiding from you. We'll make several videos on that whenever we get there. But it's still not the size of a lease or property that I want to secure this year, and that's going to be another goal, and that's going to be a goal for many years to come, is just finding more land for us to be able to farm on. Another goal that I had down last year that we did not do, and actually I kind of decided against it, and that was to register our kid crop this year 50% Kiko. Our buck last year that we used is Clyde, and he is 100% New Zealand, and all these kids, for the most part, except for a handful, are 50% Kiko, and I could register them, I believe, as 50%. There's 2 reasons I didn't do that. One of which was all our male kids this year we went ahead and castrated, so we could keep 1 herd throughout the whole year, or try to the best we could. And so there's no need to register them, obviously. We did have 1 buck that we sold, or we traded for our Spanish goats, that we left intact. We just sold him as a commercial Kiko buck, But as far as the doelings themselves, if a doe does not thrive in my operation, I'm not going to sell it to somebody else as a breeder. It's going to go to the sale barn. And where we are right now with trying to grow, I'm holding on to every doeling I like, and I don't need papers. You know, I want a goat that can go out there and thrive, you know, in some pretty harsh conditions, and that paper doesn't matter to me at all. The only reason we focus on our papers on our bucks is just because that's 50% of our herd. Whenever we buy a buck, we want to be sure that it is what the person says it is, and it's gonna throw some hopefully good genetics in our herd. But far as our does and our doelings, I'm not too concerned about registering 50% anymore. Now, if we get some does that are 100% Kiko, we will keep up on the paperwork on them with their offspring. You might as well, you know, they're already registered, might as well register their offspring. But for as, you know, our 50% and what's going to be 75% crosses next year, we're not too concerned about it. Honestly, I don't care about the breed. I care about a good hardy goat that can go out there and thrive. But that was all the goals we had for the goats this year. Pretty happy the way that everything turned out. We did have that mishap with the abortion issue, but hopefully that's going to be something that's going to be behind us. That's something that we're going to cull for going forward. And yeah, that's about the only bad thing that happened with the goats this year. We did lose one due to a parasite load, and then, you know, we culled those couple nannies. We had some good kids this year. Really happy with our Kiko crosses out of our kid crop this year, and we're super excited to be adding this guy right here to the herd, and can't wait for the springtime to see what his genetics are going to do for our 50% Kiko doelings, and potentially a couple of these mature does. He's been in here for a couple weeks. But that's the goat side of things. I'm gonna go run up here and check on these other pigs, and then we're gonna get back to the house, and we're gonna be talking about some more goals. So one other thing I forgot to mention, and I don't know necessarily if it was a goal for 2022, but it is a step that we took for our goat herd, and that is to stop feeding grain. We haven't fed any grain to our goat herd other than to catch them or to supplement one that's kind of sick or anything like that since probably the beginning of the year. We've been using our protein tubs to supplement here and there, but we're almost, and hopefully we're going to get to a grain-free goat herd. So I came up here to check on our big pigs. I actually let them out in this one little pen the other day. It's just so wet right here trying to get a truck to where their water trough was. It was a nightmare, so I decided to put them out here where I can get to their water a little bit easier, at least till it dries up. But this little guy right here, or girl, is going to be the one that goes on the barbecue grill, and then we're going to be butchering these other two right here. So I'm standing in the greenhouse now. We're going to kind of combine the greenhouse and the garden together. And when it comes to the greenhouse and garden, we accomplished all our goals last year. The garden was actually the most profitable it's ever been for us. The greenhouse was actually profitable its first year. But our first goal that we were able to accomplish is that we wanted to build a greenhouse in 2022. And whenever we made our video last year, we knew this was going to be something that we really focused on. Number one, we already had the frame for it and a lot of the materials purchased already. So we were able to do that, knock it out early 2022. I want to say we were finished with the greenhouse in February, where we were able to accomplish our second goal for the greenhouse and garden, and that was to sell plant starts. Last year, we started about 1,400 plant starts in this greenhouse, and I want to say we sold probably 60 to 70% of them. The other ones we ended up using ourselves. So it really worked out. It was profitable for us. The first year the greenhouse got paid for and had a little extra to go. And the third goal for the garden and greenhouse was to be more profitable. 2021, we were able to start selling at the farmers market here, at our local farmers market in Newberry. And last year we took it to another notch where we made pretty much all the farmers markets. If we had something, we took it, and we were pretty profitable in the garden last year. And that's something that's pretty special to me, not only that we're profitable, but also I was able to involve my dad into a lot of the farmers market plant sale kind of things. He seems to enjoy going to the farmer's market, and he loves having a garden every year. So that's something that brought us a little closer together, something we were able to do together, and just make more family involved into the whole Nicholson Farms thing. So the garden and the greenhouse was a success last year. We didn't have any goals that we were not able to hit, and when it comes to the produce or the greenhouse. So I'm down here at the barn now, and we had several goals for as this barn goes and infrastructure to begin with here on the farm. The one thing that we were able to accomplish this year was our barn up front. I forgot to show it while we're up there. We were able to add both of our lean-tos off the side of it, and we pretty much have it all the way closed in to block any kind of wind. We put some old tin around it to block wind. We got gates hung. We still have a couple gates to put up there and a couple of little finer detail things for us up there, but that project was something we were able to accomplish. But back here behind the barn, we've got several things that we did not accomplish. One of which is we were planning on adding a 57 by 13 lean-to off the back side of this barn to give us a lot more storage. We were not able to do that, but we did cut a lot of lumber this year, and I'm pretty sure we have all the lumber that we're gonna need for this project. It's just got super wet on us super quick, and we have to haul some dirt in here to raise everything up before we start construction on that project. And so that's the reason it didn't get done. It was on the list to do this fall, but wasn't able to get it. And it's probably gonna be, hopefully mid-spring, we're gonna get this project completed. But once the lean-to was up, I had goals to build a working system over here where these goats are, and over here on the outside of this barn. That would be under lean-to as well. But we wanted to have a working system right there where I was gonna build a flip table where we could, I could work goats myself. I could run them in that table, squeeze them, flip them over on the side, trim their hooves, deworm, weigh, all that stuff. We're still planning on doing that, but we need to get this lean-to done first. Another infrastructure project that has not gotten completed, but we've made a lot of headway on, is water lines. We just were up at the very front where the big pigs were and where that barn is that we completed this year. But we want to run water lines all the way up there, and we've bought a ton of materials to do it for us, connections and pipe. All our spigots are purchased and everything. We have a friend that's got a trencher that's going to come out and cut us a trench. Hopefully in the next month we're going to get that completed, because I am tired of carrying water. But that project did not get complete. We also have one water line behind the barn here that we're going to be running to put in another trough. So there are some things that did not get completed this year. So while I'm standing down here at the barn and all this mess is behind me, that brings me to something else that we kind of failed to complete this year, and that was to clean and organize the whole farm, or even here at my parents' place. We were able to go through a lot of the barns and get rid of a bunch of stuff, and we still, are in that process, but we've got to find some kind of organization because having myself, my brother, and my dad always tinkering with stuff, moving things around, we hardly can ever find the tool that we're looking for, and it kind of gets a little clustered, and I've got to do a bit better job of putting things away whenever I'm in the hurry to get home in the afternoons. But one reason for that goal was that we wanted to participate in the Newberry Ag and Art Tour this year. And what the Newberry Ag and Art Tour is, basically, there's several farms in our local community that opens themselves up to the community for a Saturday and a Sunday afternoon, I believe, during June. And basically, you just allow people onto your farm, see what you've got going on. If you have merchandise or products that you're selling, you can openly sell it to the people that come visit. It's just something neat that our community has been doing for the past couple years, and something that we got asked if we were interested in doing, and we were, because nobody else on the tour has goats, especially not to the extent that we do. But that fell through because we did not realize until the last minute that we have to have some liability insurance in order to let all these people onto our farm through that Ag and Art Tour. That's one of the requirements that you have to have, and that's something that we didn't have, and it was kind of a little too late to get going. So that's something that we're going to be looking into doing again this year, or looking into doing this year. I think it'd be something very neat for us to kind of get our name out there and kind of showcase what we're doing on a small level for as kind of a homestead slash farm. But we got a lot of cleaning up to do around the place to make this place, you know, look as good as it could for a potential guest. So Mr. Sirloin just stepped into the barn behind me, and that brings me to our next goal that we had in 2022, and that was to secure our own meat supply. I'd say about 90% of the meat that we consumed in 2022, whether it was my parents or me and Maddie or my brother, was meat that we grew here on the farm or was grown kind of at our hands. I'll explain that in just a second. But all the beef that we consumed last year, except for the latter part of the year when we ran out of steaks, was alpha brisket that we grew last year that we got processed right at the end of the year. So everything we consumed beef-wise, especially hamburger, was something that we raised. All the pork that we consumed, for the most part, again, was pork that we raised. We did have our freezer go out, but we haven't really ate pork since. We lost a good bit of pork, but for the most part, we have not purchased any pork. So we just have a few more goals, some of which are pretty much, you know, financial stuff that we're going to get into probably more in the 2023 goals. But we were able to work with a CPA this year. That was one of my big goals. I wanted to figure out what I could and could not write off on taxes. We've gotten all that straight. Pretty much our farm is a legit farm now. We run farm tags on our vehicles. We use our vehicles for farm purposes, so it's something that we can write off every year. We write off all our expenses for our feed, medicine, and all that good stuff. Getting some tax breaks through all of that. Something that I wanted to happen this year was set up a farm bank account. Unfortunately, we still haven't done that. I was waiting until me and Maddie got married where we could bind bank accounts and then set up a separate farm bank account. But we're still kind of having to help the farm along through our bank account, especially because this year, one of my goals was to be completely profitable farm-wide, but that's something that didn't happen, and a lot of that has to do with how we switched up our breeding on our goats last year, where we're not selling our kid goats until February, March this year. So we switched up our breeding times. We're holding on to our steer goats and our doelings and our cull goats a little bit longer so we can hit a higher market. And also last year we had a lot of trouble with the pigs that we purchased. We purchased 10 pigs and we ended up with 4. So we lost a lot of money in pigs last year. Didn't have any to sell when it came time to sell our butcher pigs. So that kind of hurt us. What kept us floating was the garden and the greenhouse this past year. We did sell some cold nannies midway through the year, those that aborted, and kind of floated us along. We're not far off from breaking even this year. We might be a little bit in the red, but as soon as we sell these steer goats and these feeder pigs, we'll be back in the green, and hopefully that's going to go to starting a bank account just to float our farm, and we can stop putting money into it and let it grow itself, and we'll grow at the pace our bank account grows. And eventually one day, hopefully the farm will pay some bills. On top of that, one last goal that we were not able to accomplish was we wanted to start selling t-shirts and hats this year. We are still making a couple t-shirts for family and friends. Maddie has a Cricut and a t-shirt press where we make our own t-shirts for ourselves. Just haven't hit the interest level on the YouTube channel to have the need to print a bunch of shirts to sell, I don't think. And hats are pretty expensive to make, and I don't even have my own hat, so I'm not selling hats yet. But hopefully that's something that's going to come up soon. The last 2 goals that we had for 2022 has everything to do with the YouTube channel, and that was to produce 2 videos per week for the year. And I'm happy to say we pretty much did that. There was several weeks throughout the year, I think there was 3 that we didn't post videos, one of which was whenever me and Maddie were on our honeymoon. The second of which was about the time me and Maddie found out we were pregnant, and she got really sick, and I was just trying to be a good husband and stay at home with Maddie while she was sick, and I basically just did my chores and wasn't able to produce any videos. And the third of which was last week, whenever I was really down and out, and I didn't have the energy to get out and make any videos. So I'm going to go ahead and say we accomplished that goal of producing 2 videos per week. That's something that we're going to continue to do. Maybe eventually we'll get to a 3 video release, but I don't know. It's only so many things I can show with the goats and the pigs and everything. I run out of content and I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But we are planning on still producing 2 videos a week. The last goal that we had for the YouTube channel was to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we were able to do that back in June. We were able to do that back in June. We finally got monetized. It's something that we've been working for a long time. It was a lot harder struggle than I thought it was going to be when I started this YouTube channel. But since then, we have doubled our subscribers since last year when we made our 2022 goals. So we are very, very grateful for that. We thank every single one of you that's taking the time to hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us. We love communicating with you whenever you leave comments. We love the engagement, and like I said, it means a lot to us. It's a big goal. We want to continue to grow our channel, not only to be profitable. You know, I'm not making a ton of money off of these videos, hardly anything at all, but it does go to help supplement the farm a little bit, and hopefully one day, you know, you never know where this thing can lead to. There's a lot of people that started a YouTube channel that do this for a full-time job now. I don't think I'll ever get to that point, but it's kind of cool to think as a possibility. So we want to continue to grow our channel, continue to capture everything that we're doing, so one day we can look back and see how far we've come, and also we can share some content with you to educate you, to entertain you, and all those good things. One other thing that was mentioned in the video last year, it wasn't part of the 2022 goals for the farm, but it was something that was coming up in 2022 that we were very excited about. And that was me and Maddie getting married. We had a beautiful wedding, had a great time with friends and family. It's been a blessing since our wedding day. Everything has just kind of fallen into line, and 2022 has probably been the biggest year of my life, not only from the farm stuff and everything that's going on, but I got married to the love of my life, my best friend. Gonna get to spend the rest of my life with her. On top of that, we are expecting our first child. We're having a baby girl, Rylan Noel Nicholson, due in May 2023. So we're super excited about that. And to cap off the 2022 year, me and Maddie purchased our first home. So it was a huge, huge year, really a huge past 6 months. A lot of distractions for us, the farm. You might have could tell that in the videos. I don't know for sure, but we've had a lot going on, from getting married, having a baby on the way, and purchasing our first home. Like I said, I'm gonna look back to 2022 and remember how big of a year this was for myself and for my family going forward. Not only just me and Maddie, a part of our family, but for, you know, my in-laws and my parents and my brother, my grandparents and cousins and everything. Just the impact that this year had on all of us was a blessing. So with all that being said, I really appreciate you hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed listening to what we were able to accomplish, what we wasn't, and I hope you look forward to a couple videos from now where we're going to release maybe our 23 goals for 2023. But I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all in the next one.